This is the network service of the NTA.
It is the task of Ndlea to stop all this unacceptable nonsense of drug abuse, drug trafficking in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country we have. We cannot fold our arms. We can, will, and must eliminate the drug scourge.
Institutions of training world over had remained a vital support arm of their parent organizations, hence the importance of the Ndlea Academy to the operations of the parent body, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea. This is Ndlea Today, and you're very much welcome. Our focus this week is on the Ndlea Academy vis-a-vis its contribution to the organizational success of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea. News highlights, WADA updates, and the feedback segment are our companion segments that will come your way in the course of the program. Once again, you are welcome.
Don't try it though. He go choke you up. When you start it to stop, it no go easy. As you dey drag am go, he dey drag you down. Water come out from my eyes, oh. When I remember the guys, oh. Hey, many of them kick it bucket, oh. Some cartoons like it, oh. Make we no forget, oh. No they talk it, oh. Say. Don't do drugs. Rock up your see body, oh. Don't do drugs. Rock up wound your busy body. Don't do drugs. If you die, you go sad, oh. Don't do drugs. Oh yeah, help me tell somebody. Don't do say, rock up your see body, oh. Don't do the body, oh. The body, oh.
This message is brought to you by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea.
On the news highlights for this week's episode of Ndlea Today. Ndlea intercepts drug consignment and wooden statue. Ndlea seizes 37.5 kilograms of illicit substances, arrests 11 suspects. Attempts by elements of organized criminal groups to use various dysgenious modes of concealment to import consignments of illicit substances into Nigeria and export them to the United Arab Emirates and the United Kingdom through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, have been thwarted by operators of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea. The first interception was at the Lagos airport, where a freight agent, Ogunshina Damilare, was arrested on Friday, 6 January following a bid to export 1.5 kilograms of skunk hidden in foodstuff to Dubai, UAE through the Sako export shed of the MMIA, while a similar attempt to ship 11.5 kilograms of the same substance to the United Kingdom was frustrated when the consignment, concealed in a giant wooden sculpture, was intercepted by Ndlea operatives of the Directorate of Operations and General Investigations (DOGI) at a courier company in Lagos. Curiously, the latter emanated from Ghana with London as destination. Chairman Chief Executive of the Ndlea, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, has since commended officers and men of both the MMIA and Doggy for the remarkable feats. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea, has intercepted 37.5 kilograms of illicit substance, while a total of 11 suspects have been arrested in multiple interdictions in several states of the Federation. At the Tinkan port in Lagos, a shipment of 24.5 kilograms of cannabis indica to Nigeria from Montreal, Canada, have been intercepted by operators. An 8 million naira bribe offered Ndlea officers by the importer has been secured in an account for the prosecution of the case, while the importer Cedric Madueke is still at large. One of his accomplices, Steve Isioma Adigwen, has been arrested. The consignment was hidden in a used Toyota Sienna vehicle that arrived at the port along with 3 other cars in a container marked MSMU 5082733. A total of 3,672 kilograms of cannabis sativa were recovered from 2 locations and 5 suspects arrested in Kaduna during separate raid operations. Arrested at the warehouse at Rido Village on Wednesday, 3rd January, include Edward Emmanuel and Miracle Madu, with 298 bags of cannabis weighing 3,576 kilograms. Investigations revealed that the consignment was moved from a southern state to Kaduna in a petroleum products bearing truck. Also, 2 other suspects, Sunday Bassett and Jessica Daniel, were nabbed with 96 kilograms of the same substance at Goningora area of the state, while Sanusi Isa was arrested on Saturday, 7 January at Giwa area with over 12,000 tablets of tramadol 225 milligrams and diazepam. In Kano, Ndlea operatives on Saturday, 7 January intercepted Kabiru Abdul Hamid with 119 blocks of cannabis sativa weighing 73 kilograms at Semugu area, while a total of 28,400 tablets of tramadol and over 230 kilograms of cannabis were seized in a raid operation in Festac Town and Lagos Island areas of Lagos State. Some of the suspects arrested in Lagos raids include Rukayat Eshilokun, Pelumi Alejo, and Bana Meina, who specialize in distribution of illicit drugs disguised as a dispatch rider. In Imo State, a suspect, Amechi Moses, was arrested in a follow-up operation on Friday, 6 January, following the interception of 29,800 tablets of tramadol 225 milligrams in a commercial bus along Owerri-Onitsha Road going to Aba in Abia State. While commending the officers and men of Tinkan, Lagos, Kaduna, Kano, and Imo State commands for the arrests and seizures, the Chairman Chief Executive of the Ndlea, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, CONOFR, charged them and their compatriots nationwide to intensify the heat on drug cartels in Nigeria while balancing their efforts on supply reduction with drug demand reduction activities.
Yes, it's true. Drugs are a vice in our society, costing lives and huge economic losses. But the story is not the same because the game has changed. It's a red card for drugs in Nigeria. There is a new sheriff in town. Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa is moving hard and fast with full speed and precision to rid the country of the drug scourge. Ndlea Today is a program that gives you a front seat in understanding the highs and lows, the laws of drug enforcement in the country. Join us
every Monday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, Africa's largest TV network.
Ndlea Today. Don't miss it.
The setting up of the Ndlea Academy was born out of the need to ensure proper training and capacity building for operatives of the agency. Without any doubt, the Ndlea Academy, previously known as Regional Academy for Drug Control and Citadel Counter-Narcotics Nigeria, a component of the Directorate of Training and Manpower Development, has made significant contributions to the agency's renewed push against illicit drugs in the country. The Academy, over the years, has been serving as a regional training institution for narcotics organization and allied services within the West African region. It has served as a training ground for different grades of law enforcement organizations from within and outside the country. Prior to the establishment of the Academy, the Course 1 officers of 1990 were trained across police colleges in Lagos, Kaduna, and Enugu states. The following year, the agency moved to its training complex at Rikers in Jos, Plateau State. It was from there that the agency moved to its present site at Katon Rikers, Laminga Road, Jos in 1995. The institution had witnessed steady and progressive infrastructural development that has enhanced its operational capabilities. Apart from the point of entry training for all the enlisted officers and men of the agency, the Academy had a robust training program that has enabled it to turn civilians to world-class narcotic officers.
For you to qualify to be an operative in the field, you must undergo training in that academy. And what we do there, we operate under the assumption that we are taking raw people, raw civilians. And that is the place where you remove them from their social, mental capacity and give them a sort of focus on the mission and ambition of the service called Ndlea. So Ndlea Academy is the bedrock. That's why you hatch the officers, what you see. That's why you give them directions. That's why you give them orientation. That's where you give them even the way and manners to behave. So we do a lot of things, and not only the basic courses. We have a lot of courses that we do even on the office in the field. For example, if you are due for promotion from this to this level, there are expectations on that level, and we have to expose you on the expectations. What are you expected to do from, say, 1 star, you are going to 2 stars. And when they are moving to 3 stars, you are moving to another responsibility. We also have to expose you to what you expected in that responsibility. So that's what we call refresher courses, or on the field, on the service training. And when you grow up to reach what we call command positions, then we'll call you for command courses. For example, all the officers you see that have started wearing this red gadget, they are due and they are for command officers. So you have to expose them. These are the expectations. This is what you are expected to do.
Its collaborative efforts with sister agencies and development partners had further enhanced its ability to deliver on its mandate and to also measure up to current realities in the drug war.
That is part of the advantage, because we invited some of the military officers and they joined our own drill instructors and they came with something good like what you saw. That is one. Then 2, after that basic training you see, they also expose them to courses like junior officers courses, where Ndlea officers are now allowed to join their military colleagues from majors to colonel in their junior diff. There's also another program they do, they call it Operation Haskevu. In this kind of program, they bring officers from the military of, say, the rank of lieutenant colonel, then officers from Ndlea from the rank of what they call chief superintendent. They jointly go to Jaji, perform joint training just like the military. Then 2, it also exposes them with something. When they're up in the field from that rank, it's very, very easy for them to seek for cooperations from their colleagues, especially when there are difficult terrains. Oh yes, this person is my coursemate. He is the commanding officer because the CEOs are lieutenant colonels of their rank. Let me get to him for assistance so that we can enter this bush or engage the civil. And if you observe, you have been listening to the news because you are part of it, those are the kind of results you are seeing. Joint operation terrain that you think people cannot enter, you see Ndlea's going there in full force and they come out without any casualty.
For DCGN Hamza Umar, the current commandant of the Academy, the inspiration and motivation that Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa brought into the agency had rubbed off positively on the personnel of the anti-drug agency, hence the astounding success recorded in recent months.
First, he makes sure anybody that deserves this has gotten. An officer, what he wants in his life is progression. But you find out not only that, you are taking care in the process of going to that particular level. That is one. Then two, when this man came, there has been serious delay in terms of even increasing the manpower. He did not waste one single time. His first assignment was that he looked at the stagnation, address it. I am a beneficiary. And address it not only with rank, with a commensurate benefit. It follows. Then two, you cannot sit anywhere by the corner and say you have been alienated or you have been segregated. No. Then three, he made sure, I don't know whether he has a book, but I know he has a task for his commanders, for all his commanders all over the nation. That look, whoever did this is now certificated on that. Not only the certificate, he followed it with some incentives. And manage that. He will make sure even when you go back home, your family give you that support. By encouraging you, look, now I'm proud everywhere to go as an Ndlea officer. I'm proud to move, do a thing that often, yes, who are you? I am Ndlea. So matter of people, because of what they are seeing and the effort the people are doing to make sure you give it an objective coverage, not subjective.
The determination of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (Ndlea) to inflict maximum loss on those involved in the drug trade by ensuring that they do not reap the fruits of their labor has continued to yield more fruits as the agency continues to frustrate all the tricks of concealment being tried by the drug barons and their accomplices. From the recent discovery of the consignment concealed in wooden statue that was intercepted by the agency's operatives while being imported into the country, to many others, the agency's demonstration of its being a step ahead of the traffickers has continued to ensure that the various disingenuous modes of concealment deployed in trafficking hard drugs continue to be thwarted by the Ndlea. We have seen the usage of tins of tomato paste, the utilization of cereal, and the concealment inside smoked fish, among others. The drug trade had continued to evolve. Other methods frustrated by the Ndlea operatives include that of hiding black liquid cocaine in mascara makeup, as well as another concealment in children's duvet. In all these, the message is very clear. The easiest way to lose everything is to get involved in the illicit drug trade, because the Ndlea is now better positioned to ensure that you lose the whole of your investments, no matter how huge. And remember, you may even lose your freedom. A word, as they say, is enough for the wise. Ogun State Command holds WADA sensitization lecture at Ijebu-Ode. Benue State Command lectures officers, men, women of the Nigerian Army, 72 Special Forces, Makurdi, on dangers of drug abuse. Kano State Command of the Ndlea lectures youth on drug abuse at Model Central Primary School, Dambata.
Don't try it though. He go choke you up. When you start it to stop, it no go easy. As you dey drag am go, he dey drag you down. Water come out from my eyes, oh. When I remember the guys, oh. Way many of them kick it bucket, oh. Some cartoons like it, oh. Make we don't forget, oh. Go dey talk it, oh. Say. Don't do drugs. Rock up your busy body, oh. Don't do drugs. Rock up wound your busy body. Don't do drugs. If you die, you go sad, oh. Don't do drugs. Oh yeah, help me tell somebody. Don't do say, rock up your busy body, oh. Don't do body, oh. The body, oh.
This message is brought to you by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA.
Do you know? Do you know that there are musculoskeletal effects of drug abuse? While not often mentioned, drugs can lead to many long-term musculoskeletal effects, particularly muscular control and skeletal strength. For example, steroid use during adolescence can result in bone growth alteration. PCP can cause muscle contractions, while other drugs can lead to overall muscle weakness and severe muscle cramping. Chronic drug users also lack many essential vitamins and minerals to support a healthy musculoskeletal system. It's common for long-term abusers to struggle with arthritis, Parkinson's disease, and other conditions affecting the musculoskeletal system. Do you know that drug addiction is probably the most devastating neurological effect of drug abuse? All addictive drugs alter the brain's chemical wiring, leading to seizures, strokes, and toxicity in the brain cells. Beyond addiction, drugs can also cause learning and memory disabilities, affect impulse control, and affect other functions. Marijuana, particularly in those who start before age 18, can cause neuropsychological decline that may not be reversible. Alcohol consumption can lead to wet brain, which increases the risk of dementia. As drug abuse continues, the damages to the brain are often irreversible.
On the feedback segment today, Tamuno Daniels from Port Harcourt wrote, "What are the effects of drug abuse on the brain?" Here is your answer. All drugs, nicotine, cocaine, marijuana, and others affect the brain's reward circuit, which is part of the limbic system. This area of the brain affects instincts and mood. Drugs target this system, which causes large amounts of dopamine, a brain chemical that helps regulate emotions and feelings of pleasure, to flood the brain. This causes a high. It's one of the main causes of drug addiction. Although initial drug use may be voluntary, drugs can alter brain chemistry. This can actually change how the brain performs and interfere with a person's ability to make choices. It can lead to intense cravings and compulsive drug use. Over time, this behavior can turn into a substance dependency or drug and alcohol addiction. Reward Edwards from Calabar, Cross River State, wrote, "How can one recognize an opioid overdose?" Here is your answer. Opioid use can lead to death due to the effect of opioids in part of the brain, which regulates breathing. An opioid overdose can be identified by a combination of 3 signs and symptoms: pinpoint pupils, unconsciousness, and difficulties with breathing. Worldwide, about 500,000 deaths are attributed to drug use. More than 70% of these deaths are related to opioids, with more than 30% of those deaths caused by overdose. That's the size of our package for this week. Please keep a date with us same time next week on the network service of the NTA. Until then, it's bye for now.